Welcome back to Afternoon Live. Do you wish your relationship with your mom wasn't so complicated? Our next guests know all about the difficulties of a ruptured relationship and what it takes to repair the bond. We welcome the authors of the new book, The Mother Daughter Relationship Makeover, Workbook for Lasting Change, Leslie and Lindsey Glass. Thank you both for being here today.
Our
So much for
pleasure.
having us.
I think a lot of our viewers might be familiar with your book with the Oprah stamp of approval. What's that been like to share your story to such a huge audience in that way?
We were absolutely thrilled. We had a 4-year no contact experience, and writing about it and then having such a great response. Really, it was wonderful.
What about you, Lindsey? What's it been like for you?
Oh, it's been amazing to not only have healed the relationship, but now be using our own story and our own everything we learned on our journey to be helping other people. It really is the icing on the cake for us. So we're grateful.
I think a lot of people can relate to a lot of us. Our mom is the closest person to us, and maybe that's why there can be such deep pain. Was that part of your story as well?
Oh, absolutely. And I think in our case, certainly that's why it got so dramatic, because we were also so close. But that's why also why reconciliation was so important for us. And why we really pitch today to see if the relationship is going off track before you get to the point where there's a complete breakdown.
You're a great example of you've been through a lot of obstacles together, and sitting here together today is such a great triumph. Can you share a little bit about some of the tough times that you've been through?
Oh my goodness. Well, Lindsay and I have been recovery advocates for years. We started a website to help people dealing with addiction and recovery. And then we started writing books about it. And being a mother and daughter in the same business, it created an incredible amount of conflict between us because we would fight. We didn't always agree about what we were doing. And we had a habit of fighting that escalated into explosions.
So actually, one of the toughest times we had was right before our 4-year period of alienation, where we had actually gotten in a fight about work. And it was obviously 20 years of bad habits of fighting before that, but it was actually a family business issue that broke us up.
Yeah.
That is so hard to navigate when everything is so entrenched like that, family and business and navigating different things. Do you have people ask questions about what's sort of a normal level of friction to experience with a mother-daughter relationship, and what's kind of something I should maybe seek some more support for?
Yeah, this is a really important question, because there is a lot of normal friction that goes on between mothers and daughters. It comes with friction built into the relationship. But normal friction is when you can repair and everyone feels safe and they can apologize and people know how to listen. Where we start to get into a little bit more of a toxic or a dangerous relationship is where people really feel unheard, or we're starting to walk on eggshells. Every conversation ends in tension or arguments, and people really start avoiding each other or yelling at each other regularly as opposed to trying to find solutions.
Tell me about putting this into a workbook form. What are some of the steps that people will experience if they want to follow along with this with you?
Well, do you want to go? You want me to go?
We start with self-discovery, because I think the most important thing is to determine who you are, who your mom is, and what your issues are. What is your past? What are the traumas in your past? What are the personality differences between you? And we move on from there.
Well, and we start with that because a lot of conflict has to do with people not having a lot of self-awareness about themselves or their moms. So from there, we go on to the biggest issues between mothers and daughters, because there are some big, hot-hitting issues that all mother-daughters are going to fight about. Then we want you to learn about trauma and triggers, and then we're going to teach you about forgiveness and healing.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like so helpful, but not easy to walk through, right? It can be really painful to dig up those things, and you two have been quite vulnerable in sharing your story as well.
Absolutely. And I think the way we did the workbook is we're really asking you to write your story throughout, and we're giving you a lot of charts and self-assessments and way to do this work that hopefully is a little bit fun and user-friendly, as opposed to just being painful.
And just reading, I mean, you're not just reading about what went wrong. We're kind of giving you a roadmap to understand yourself and to maybe change your habits of communication.
Are there common issues or triggers that people come to you with questions about with these mother-daughter relationships?
Absolutely. We see the big ones are food and weight, appearance, friends, boyfriends, romantic partners. Part of our story involves alcoholism and mental health issues. So certainly families that are experiencing that, there's a lot of friction and they really need help navigating those kinds of issues. But anything that involves control. You know, mom wants to help. She wants to tell you what to do, but we're growing up and we don't always want to hear it.
And that's daughters often want to escape because they want to be able to find their own voice and make their own choices. And mom's job is to, you know, tell them what to do, manage and guide. And often by the time daughters are in their 20s, in their teens and 20s, they don't want to be told what to do anymore.
It is so tough to navigate. Do you have advice for somebody sitting at home right now thinking, wow, I really relate to a lot of these things, but I'm kind of scared to explore that deeper?
Well, that's why we wrote the book. So the first thing we would do is actually, you know, and we're writers, but we learned about ourselves and how to heal our relationship through reading. So the first thing you want to do is kind of find out what's going on in your relationship, so that you can have understanding of if it's in a good place or if it needs work. And we really want people to feel very hopeful because so much can be done and sometimes very small tweaks can make a huge difference.
So often daughters feel that they're judged, and they're not listened to. And that's very difficult for anybody, even moms.
You two have overcome so much in your own relationship. We really appreciate you sharing your story. I think it's going to help a lot more people as well. Thank you for being with us today.
Our pleasure.
It was great. Thank you.
Of course. Okay, Leslie and Lindsey Glass's new book is The Mother-Daughter Relationship Makeover, Workbook for Lasting Change. We will have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.